All this national motocross action is proudly brought to you by TRP Distributors, Cannabis Energy Drink, and their associate sponsors. Welcome to penultimate round action of the TRP and Cannabis Energy National Motocross Championships here in Bloemfontein. We're at the BORC, and the track is prepped to perfection. These guys are ready to go and rock and roll now. And we saw in the other categories already that there is some big rivalries still to be sorted out, even though the championships are so tightly and so evenly matched. Remember, there's only 4 more rounds to go. We spoke about track preparation. I don't think you get better prep than what these guys are doing. I think that's the only racing Honda in the country as well at the moment. Let's catch up with Neville Naidu, though, from Cannabis Energy Drink.
This was a good year for us. We gave a lot into the sport. The sport gave a lot back to us. We are sad that there's no spectators, but I think we're going to do good next year as well.
That's great news to hear as we head into the 1-2-5 start grid here. Rivalry at the front end also expected here, but remember, Mlimi basically has got to just finish up the 4 races to wrap things up. And there's a little bit of rivalry for second place between Duval, Cilliers and Hoffman as we get ready to go now for the first heat here this weekend of the 1-2-5 high school class. 5-second board. Gates drop. Out the gates they go down towards turn 1 to Bridgestone corner, and Mlimi getting a fantastic start. Whole shots into Bridgestone corner. He's got Miguel Duval right there with him. Watch out for the 26 bike there of Mixter, looking for a way to just squeeze through. Not quite there just yet as they come through the first turn. Nice pack of 20 riders going at it here this weekend. And in the mid-pack there, Diane Manuel having a phenomenal start too. The man from Zimbabwe is all dominant up in Harare, but here he's have to fight it out with arguably some of the best riders in the Southern Hemisphere. 1-2-5s is always a very hotly contested class as they come out of the Thor turn. They've just been through 100%. You can see just how much these guys are giving. Probably more than 100% right now to close down on Mlimi. The back end there, Brees Romans and Asandem Chunu. At the front end, it's Mixter trying to close down. On his tail, Cilliers. Cilliers being closed down by Ethan Hoffman. 2 Yamahas going at it. Hayden Tully just behind them. Lots of support on the sideline there for Blake Young as he came through there too. And Garrick Henley starts to make his way through the pack. It's a big pack. 20 riders in a 1-2-5 class. It's probably one of the biggest packs we've seen all season long. And the man who would be king is controlling things from the front. So John Mlimi holding off the attack there from Miguel Duval. Duval, the second bike on track there, just ahead of the 2 Yamahas, Cilliers and Hoffman. Tully just behind them as they start to get into the thick of it now for this first heat of the 1-2-5 category. Through the 100% and now up into the Thor corner. Go over that Cannabis Energy Drink tabletop, and there's a bit of maneuver on here. Cilliers is starting to close things down. Cilliers and Hoffman are at each other's throats. Could be a 3-way battle here if they can catch onto the back end of Miguel Duval, and they're not too far off the back end of the Mixter. So Duval will have to be very wary about the 2 blue bikes on his tail. Going through the Pepsol section now. Mlimi controlling things, second place Mixter. He has a move on the inside from Cilliers. Oh yes, sending Hoffman off the track. Thanks for that. Ethan Hoffman unceremoniously sent backwards. Boren Toy coming through there as well. Nice little ride from the youngster. And then right on his tail is Callum Broski. What a turnaround there for that man. The Ridgeway Race Bar boy having a super run. Deegan Bloomfield, his teammate, a bit further back in the pack, but he's got some work to do now. Slowly but surely getting to grips with a 1-2-5. Is there going to be a little return of the investment there from Ethan Hoffman if he catches Cilliers? Cilliers will have to be watching his rear all the time. It was a very good block pass, but it sent the man completely off track, and Ethan Hoffman now with a huge amount of work to do. Come up over that Thor jump. You see the mid-pack now starting also to heat up a little bit. There's that 136 of Mark Anthony Philippe. Now there's a race winner from this season already. So far back in the pack, not loving life here in Bloemfontein by the looks of it. And then Diane Manuel also just getting to grips with a slightly different track than what he's normally raced. And he is certainly a man that we thought would be a little bit quicker in this 1-2-5 class. We're looking for a big turnaround, possibly in 2021. Pack coming through here, and in that mid-pack as well, watch out for Wes McGavin. Luke Kutemba just a little bit further back on the riders, and then as they come through, they just picked up on the back end of Evan van Rooyen and Garrick Henley. So these guys just coming through here and showing that 1-2-5 class is definitely something to be watching out for in 2021. And a couple of these riders, of course, will move up into the 250 class, but there's a couple of 85cc Pro Mini riders who will be making their way into the 125 class. So expect some more big action. One of those riders who stepped up, Byron Dutoy, looking very good out there at the moment, having some international experience as well, and slowly but surely becoming a threat at the front end. Not to this man just yet, though. And Mlimi looking over his shoulder, realizing that he's got a decent enough margin now over Miguel Duval to control things to the line. Saliers and Hoffman are not done yet. Byron Dutoy, and then 136 Mark Anthony Philippe. Philippe will be looking for a chance now just to possibly spoil the day there for everybody else if he can. But as I said, he's a race winner and hasn't found the pace here this weekend. 20 comes through there a little bit further back in the pack is Hayden Tully, but he has made his way up into the top 10 with a lap to go. And Mlimi now going to try and just hang on for one more opportunity. Is Miguel Duval going to be able to close things down on him? Doesn't look like it because he's got his own attentions being held there by the 39 in third. And Saliers is putting the pressure onto Miguel Duval. Further back, another pack. Alex Combrink right at the back there as well, as we see a massive jump from the 125 leader over 7th Heaven. And a little roost coming off the end there, so he didn't quite clear it. We'll give him one for the books though, as Mlimi controls things and hangs on. Half a lap to go now from Mlimi. Is there a change up for second? No, Miguel Duval has hung on, but Saliers is right there with him. Saliers looks dangerous and could potentially squeeze through. Is there going to be a chance here for him to get that Yamaha between the two KTMs? So it's the TRP Red Bull KTM to take the first victory of the day. Miguel Duval will come through on the Rad KTM for second place, and Saliers on the Yamaha takes third place. Overall results after the 2 heats of racing: Mlimi from Saliers and Duval, with Hayden Tully in 4th place, Ethan Hoffman beating Callan Broski, Byron Dutoy, good ride from the youngster, and then Blake Young in 8th place. Let's catch up now with 125 winner John Mlimi.
Training has really been paying off, you know. Obviously I got in a bunch with my starts, and just got out front and put in a solo moto, but it's really hot, but we'll get up again for the second one. And just like to thank all my sponsors at the KTM, Motor Red, Sportsfield, TRP, just everyone supporting me. Thank you.
Welcome back to action from the penultimate round of the TRP and Cannabis Energy Drink National Motocross Championships here in Bloemfontein. We're getting ready to go now for the Premier Class, the 450s and MX1s. As you can see, no spectators still allowed due to the lockdown, but no problem in terms of the action that's expected out on track. Jesse Wright will be pushing hard, so will Vogelsang. He'll be looking for a whole shot. 108 of Kieran Fitzgerald looking for a swan song finish to his career in motocross. Reynard fired up after some good rides so far in the 250 class. Matty Milan just out of the championship, but the championship is definitely down to the wire there between that man, David Goosen, and the possibility of Tristan Purdon spoiling his day. Tristan Purdon has got the red plate coming into this round though after a phenomenal round down at Pietermaritzburg. And let's see whether or not we're going to see any changes in this championship after heat number 1. 15 seconds to 5. Gates about to drop, and out the gates they come for the first time in anger for the 450s. Down to Bridgestone corner. There's going to be Purdon, who's got a better start than most. Just looks like he got a good start there. Uncharacteristic from Tristan Purdon to come out of the gates so quick. And a great start yet again from Anthony Reynard. He looks like he's the whole shot king here this weekend. Has not been bedded out of the start gates into turn 1. Jesse Wright battling at the back end there with Charon Moore and with Vogelsang. Expected to see Johan Vogelsang in the mix there as well, but didn't quite get the start he wanted. And speaking of not getting the start he wanted, David Goosen down in 3rd last place out the gates with a huge mountain to climb, considering the fact that Purdon is sitting in 3rd. So the championships are basically top and bottom of this field. Oh, a couple of lines completely off track. That's not what you want to be doing through there. I think that might have been Charon Moore, just got it wrong there, coming over that tabletop. Out front though, Reynard controlling things, and Purdon starting to close down on him, but there's a nice little 3-way battle there as Matty Milan has joined the party. Milan into the mix there too. Watching for the progress there of the 21 bike. He's just behind Marco de Freya. He's got his teammate on his tail there, Jesse Wright, and both the Yamahas are not finding it easy to get to the front. Look out for Lloyd Foucault in that mid-pack too. The 777 bike also not quite the start. And there's just so much to do on the day like this. When there's a championship up for grabs and you're fighting so hard, the pressure starts to be felt. There's no doubt about it. Now as they come through, are we going to see a change-up? Matty Milan slowly but surely closing onto the back end of Kieran Fitzgerald. Looking for a way past his arch rival from lots of seasons of racing here. But more importantly he's not really involved in the championship, but he'd love to give the 4-1 a run for his money. Change up there between Fitzgerald and Milan. He gets around the outside and outdoes the KTM. moving that Husqvarna up into potentially 4th place on track, with his sights set now firmly on the 4-1, just ahead of him of Purdon. Awesome stuff as that guys come through that whoop section. It's great to see 450s in full flight through that whoop section. The Prepsol whoops have been incredible to watch. Here comes Goosen along, and slowly but surely making his way up. But is there enough time for him to get even into the top 5? With big heats and a lot of action expected, and all the rivalry that are there. Remember that you're also going to be seeing lots of action between these guys. Kieran Fitzgerald actually running out on his 350 as opposed to on a 450, so maybe just finding it a bit more difficult to stay with the bigger bikes with that little 100cc's less power. But it's a nimble little machine, there's no doubt about it, and he'll definitely not throw in the towel too quickly. The towel has not been thrown in between the 1 and the 41. Arch rivals and good friends, and of course arch rivalry counts more right now when it comes down to the wire. And look at Milan, he means business. Using a slightly different line, but a late apex there for him as he came out, and now tries to close down on Tristan Purdon. Out front though, Reynard is just controlling things beautifully. Is there going to be any answer there from anybody on Reynard's pace this weekend? He's very good in the 250s, he's looking good on the 450s as well. Change around though in terms of DeRoe's way of riding. All season long, as I mentioned in the 250 show, he's been good on the 450s. Today, he seems to be battling on the 450. And speaking of battling, Sharon Moore at the back end, he's just loving life being part of this penultimate round of the National Championships. Out front though, controlling things, Reynard seems to be definitely the man that everybody's trying to catch. And I don't think Emmy's going to answer to him today, that is for sure. Slowly but surely starting to get into the mix. And you can see that things are going to get a little bit more up close and personal there between the 1 and the 41. Purdon versus Milan still on the cards here. We're going to see a bit of a change up there between the two of them. De Freya leading things out over the 777. Oh, problems for De Toy. De Toy off track, but gets back on. Now right at the back of the pack with some work to do. See if Len can close things down there, maybe get back up into the hunt. Hunt at the front though, starting to heat up. It's the 41 of Purdon is now 2nd. Milan is 3rd. We've got only one rider they're going to try and catch. That's the 23 of Reynard. And watching the progress there of Goose. He's got ahead now of the 777. And could be a change up there between the next rider on track 2. As you can see, David Goosen slowly but surely closing in. Speaking of closing in, here comes Purdon. Purdon on Reynard. Oh, what a cutback there from Purdon. Dives on the inside and hits the front for the first time now. So Tristan Purdon out front. Milan in 3rd. Doesn't have an answer to the top 2. He's just not able to run the same kind of pace as those two, and he's happy to settle for 3rd place. He's not going to be happy about it, but of course, there's nothing he can do about it, so he's going to have to just deal with it. Purdon no controlling things now that he's at the front. Can he keep Reynard out? Will Reynard try and come back at him? Reynard has a little look over the shoulder there, just to make sure that Matty Milan is not too close. And if Milan is close, he might have to just turn the wick up. Checkered flag is out though, and Purdon has timed it to perfection, taking the first win of the day and of the weekend for the 450 class, ahead of Anthony Reynard and Matty Milan. Milan comes through for 3rd ahead of Fitzgerald, who beats out Cam DeRoe in the Reef Tankers KTM. It's Lloyd Fakell in 6th and Goosen in 7th. That is a big problem there for David Goosen. Lots of work to do this weekend. De Freya in 8th. Hot conditions out there, a little refreshment for our top riders as they get ready to go for their next heat, but we move straight into the Pro Minis and 85cc Juniors. In Bloemfontein, as always, separate starts for the Pro Minis and the 85s, so they'll do the first loop before they get into action with the 85cc Juniors. And as that 5-second board moves off the circuit, the gates are about to drop, and Pro Minis head down towards Bridgestone Corner for the first time. Cut for rivalries starting to be heated up again here. Remember, the championship is up for grabs still. Bryce Peterson coming into this round with the red plate and looking to take on this pack. As he comes out of turn 1, he is at the whole shot. He's hit the front for the first time. Daniel Bucko right there with him. Bucko going to try and put the pressure on. He's not involved in the championship at all. He'll be looking for victories here today and looking for the victories on the final part of the season. Bucko out front, Peterson right on his tail. Not a bad man to follow around the circuit is Manuel Bucko. Bryce Peterson comes into this turn into... Oh, there's a problem there for Peterson. Oh, and he comes right up and knocks onto the sideline there with Tarantino. And Peterson stopped. There's an issue on the bike there for the championship leader. Something has gone wrong as the 85cc Juniors come out of the gates. Bryce Peterson with some issues coming into what is turn 1 on the circuit, usually out of that first loop. And they head down to the first loop there out of Bridgestone Corner. And remember, Liam Boerter is the man to keep here. And the 17 hits the front with the red plate on his tail. And, well, I can tell you that it's going to be tight there between Tyler Peterson and Peter Brink. Ryan Adler in the mix as well as they came into that first turn and into the 100% section. Out front, though, now that Bryce Peterson has disappeared from him, Emmanuel Bucko is disappearing at the front end. There's no answer to his pace. But Vion Deploy now in with a chance of spoiling the day. And Tyler Tarantino's in there as well. Lucas Venter, Seth Young and Carl Townsend, the Cannabis Energy rider, having a super run so far here and looking for a top 5 if he can. He's fighting it out at the moment. And you can see Townsend, well, he's at the front end right now, but he's got a big battle on his hands. And it's starting to be a bit of a two-way there between himself and Beyond Deploy. There is Bryce Peterson on the sideline. It's a confirmation of that rider. And it looks like his sprocket might have come off that motorcycle. So Peterson out of this one. Liam Burt is still in the hunt, though, for the front end of the 85cc Juniors. Look at the gap he's got there as they come through for second and third place. Tyler Peterson just ahead of Ryan Adler. Peter Brink not too far back, and watch out for Matthew Correa. Timo Topfer was also a man to watch out for in the beginning part of the season. Hasn't quite had the finish to the season he wanted, though. Battles continue on track, though, and there's still some to be sorted out, even in the mid-packs of the 85cc's and Pro Minis combined. And what's going to happen now is the Pro Minis are going to start to close in on the back end of the 85cc Juniors. First man to get to them is going to be the high-flying Emmanuel Bucko. Second place now, it's Carl Townsend. What a run there from Townsend. But Deploy is closing in on him. The Cannabis Energy man is slowly but surely being caught there by Beyond Deploy. Tyler Tarantino also starting to get into the top 5, looking for a chance possibly even to be on the podium. And with the kind of pace that he's running right now, Tarantino is definitely in with a shot. One of the best rides we've seen out of Tyler Tarantino, that is for sure. So into the thick of it. Further back in the pack now, watch out for the maneuvers there coming. Peter Brink slowly but surely closing in on Adler. Might be closing down and passing Adler actually. So we could expect to see a change up there for the 85cc Juniors top 3 as they come through the Prepsol Whoop section. Coming out of that section, Aidan Safi being closed down now by Tristan DeRoe. Those two in a bit of a fight of their own as well. Yes, it's at the back end of the Pro Mini category, but the battles are just as good at the back as what they are at the front. And in fact, they're a bit better because the man up front is just disappearing. He's not even involved in the battle. Townsend's about to become involved in one, though. The Cannabis Energy rider is about to be caught and possibly passed by Beyond Deploy. Could be a late charge here from Beyond Deploy to get ahead as they come through 7th heaven. 121, Lucas Venter also becoming a threat. Venter now looking for a chance maybe to get up onto that overall podium. Liam Butta is doing it all right. Exactly what he needs to do to possibly wrap up the championship. Butta controlling things way ahead there of the now second place Tyler Peterson. On their tail, Ryan Adler still in the mix, but Adler hasn't had an answer there to Peterson since he got through. No one's had an answer to Bucko. What a dominant ride here from this youngster. Man from Zimbabwe. He's definitely got what it takes here. Moving up into second place. Beyond Deploy up to second. Oh, so a couple of changes in the background. Townsend's dropped by the wayside into Tarantino's clutches. So Tyler Tarantino could be in with a chance here of getting through on Carl Townsend. I think Townsend might have gone down. He may have had a problem somewhere on track, and that's why he's dropped back so dramatically. Is that going to be a possibility of Tarantino catching and passing him? Is he rattled? He could be. And Tarantino coming right on his tail, though. He has got Lucas Venter. So it's a 4-way fight there for what is going to be possibly third place on the podium. Tarantino has moved up to third. Yes, he's got through. But Tarantino now. Oh, this is a good ride here from young Tyler Tarantino. Much better outing from him than we've seen so far this season. That's good and bodes well for 2021. Always nice to leave the final round of the championships with a little bit of confidence in the bag. Go is the way to go. Yes, that's exactly what they're trying to do, Dad. I promise you. There's no doubt about it. Bucko going like a Boeing at this point. No one got an answer to him. Although this late race pace from Beyond Deploy, if he had it earlier on and didn't make mistakes like that, could possibly have put him in contention with Bucko. Therein lies the difference. Emmanuel Bucko is very smooth rider. Another smooth rider leading 85cc Juniors is Liam Butta. Second place now is Peterson. And Peterson just doesn't have enough laps in hand to close down on Butta. Back marker's becoming a threat now. As we see the 169 coming through there. Nice little maneuver there from Thor Johnson. A little bit off the pace than what he normally is. As they come into the thick of it, that's Peter Brink now up to third, into the Juniors. So Peter Brink in amongst some of the quicker riders from the Pro Minis, but into third place overall. Carl Townsend under threat here. As you can see, Venter looks like he wants by. Tarantino has got by, but Venter wants to do the same thing. Tarantino having one of the best rides we've seen out of him in a long time, which is fantastic to see, as I said, as he closes down now with a lap to go. And not going to catch that man. Bucko is going to just win by a dominant margin, a very big margin, in fact, over Beyond Deploy. And Deploy has run well, but as I said, if he hadn't made so many mistakes, very good possibility he might have been up there. Coming through now some of the back markers there, Beyond Deploy just controlling things. Doesn't want to make a mistake at this point in time. He'll just pick his opportunities to get through on those back markers. The same thing that Tyler Tarantino is doing for third. Bucko with a couple of corners to go. And it's all over for the first race. And a good possibility that he is going to be a threat in 2021. Hasn't had a full season though, having been stuck in Zimbabwe, not able to get down here to participate in the National Championship Series that he normally participates in. So good to have them here. A couple of changes there right in the closing stages, but the checkered flag is out as Bucko comes through to take the win. Tyler Peterson and Peter Brink were going at it, but overall results in the Pro Minis and 85cc's, Vion Deploy taking it from Emmanuel Bucko and Lucas Fenter, with Tyler Tarantino in fourth, and Liam Botha hanging on to the red plate for tomorrow. Welcome back to round 4 action, the penultimate round of the TRP National Motocross Championships here in Bloemfontein. And 450s in the gate now for Heat 2. Remember, we've just had a massive crash for David Goosen in the 250 class, so he's definitely going to feel the effects of that now as they head down toward turn 1, or does he? Oh, what kind of effects is he feeling? He's in second place behind Dero as they go into Bridgestone corner. A couple of looks down there. I think Vogelsang and Leonard de Toy looking down not to avoid being roosted right from the word go. But as they come out into the 100% section for the very first time, all 12 riders in full flight. And out front, it is Dero who goes side by side with Purdon. I don't know where Tristan Purdon has been using his opportunities to get hole shots. He doesn't usually get hole shots. He's not known for good starts at all. But today, it's the business end of the championship. And with 2 more races to go tomorrow, he's got to get it all sorted out. And he's hit the front. He gets ahead of Dero and leads. That's not like Tristan Purdon. Where have you seen Tristan Purdon leading a 450 race in any part of the season in the last couple of seasons either? He normally comes from behind and has late race pace. He's got early race pace today, and the reason being he's got big championship rivals coming from behind, and maybe he's trying to capitalize on the fact that he knows that David Goosen has gone down in the 250 category earlier on in the day. And if you look at David Goosen right now, it looks like he's gone down again, but I think it's just the amount of roost that he got through turn 1. We saw a lot of riders putting their head down through Bridgestone corner. And I think it was they put a little bit of extra wetness down there to try and get the dust down. He's definitely feeling the effects of it, though, big time. As Reynard goes around, he's outside. Oh, Goosen cuts him off, though. So battle for third is on there, and it's Goosen and Reynard. Just up the road from them is Cam Dero in second, trying to close down on early race leader Tristan Purdon. You see the dust is a slight factor here, but it's not too bad. A little bit of breeze that's just blowing it away, and that's very lucky for the riders as they go through there. Look out for Cam Dero, though, in that second spot at the moment. And is he going to be able to hang on to it? Kieran Fitzgerald, Lloyd Verquel, out of the question here now. Not even in the same equation as the first 4 whacks on track. And you can see there's a big hurry up on there for Kieran Fitzgerald saying, come on, let's get that 350 into the mix. He thought the 350 might be the better option here. And this is where things could change up. Dero now being closed down by Goosen. Goosen on his tail. David Goosen's bridged a little bit of a gap there. Kieran Fitzgerald starting to close things down as well as he gets up onto the back end of Reynard. There is your race leader, though, Tristan Purdon. And look at that. You can see that they have wet certain parts of the circuit, so roost is becoming a big factor here. And vision's going to be a bit of a factor as well. One thing I can say is I haven't seen in terms of vision, Matty Milan. Where is he? Looks like he's had a little bit of issues on the sideline. And news from pit lane is that he's picked up a little bit of a tummy bug, and he might be battling a little bit with that tummy bug. So he's not even in contention here at the front end. Kieran Fitzgerald is slowly but surely closing in on the top 3 in front of him. And as we see the rest of the field coming through there, De Freya having a bit of a fight of his own there and fighting out with Jesse Wright and Lloyd Verquel. Oh, Tristan Purdon is doing it all right here. If he wants to take this championship, this is the way to do it. Up into second place, Goosen now moves ahead of Dero. How's the roost on Goose, though? He's had it definitely not go his way in the first part of this race. If you're in second and third place, you shouldn't be full of roost like that. But it looks like he's certainly got into wherever he had to not get into. And same thing with De Freya. Look at that. Those 2 riders, I think they were the 2 on the inside line into Bridgestone corner. And you saw a lot of guys putting their head down, realizing there was about to be a face full of roost. We've got a lap to go now for Purdon. And man, has anybody got an answer to him? I don't think so. As good as Reynard has been here today, Tristan Purdon in the 450s has been just that much better. And it looks like he is going to put one hand on the championship trophy by the end of this one. Oh, it's still up for grabs, though, in the pit back as Reynard goes at it with Dero. Oh, that's fantastic stuff. Where is Kieran Fitzgerald going? He says, no, I've had enough. This 350 is too much of a beast for me. No, he just ran wide there all on his own. Some big mistake there from Kieran Fitzgerald. Drops him down out of the top 5. And that's not a mistake you want to be making in the closing stages. So we're coming down to the wire now, and Tristan Purdon has done it all right. Can he keep it together? Are we going to see Reynard or Goosen as the first Yamaha across the line? It looks like it might be Reynard. Reynard has caught up and possibly got through there. We'll get confirmation on it very shortly. But Reynard may have just got ahead of David Goosen, and that is massive for this championship. Tristan Purdon with the win means that Goosen needed to be at least second place. And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Kieran Fitzgerald is back on track, right on his tail. There's Milan for the first time that we see him. And I think Kieran Fitzgerald has made a couple of mistakes on circuit. That's why Milan has caught and passed him. Or he's about to pass him, and I think he may have just made a stick there going through that little step up. Purdon coming to the line now, and it's, yes, look at that. Reynard is through on Goosen. And here's Milan not too far off the back end, so he's kept his race pace right till the end. And whatever that tummy bug has worked for the second half of the race, as the checkered flag is out for Purdon for his second win of the day. That's awesome stuff for him. And the championship looking like, as I said, one hand on the championship trophy. Second place went to Reynard ahead of Goosen. That's huge for the championship and huge for Yamaha as well in terms of their little in-house battle. Milan in fourth, De Roo, Fitzgerald, Fakel and De Freya. But let's catch up with Tristan Purdon after a great day in the saddle.
Yeah, coming in, I was very nervous, but coming in with 1 point, and I knew what I had to do. We put in a lot of hard work. Can't thank Lawrence enough for kicking my butt every morning, waking up early, just training. And thanks to my whole team, Red Bull KTM, my girlfriend, my mom and dad, everyone just supporting me. It's just want to get tomorrow over with now.
We'll bring you all of tomorrow's action next week on Ignition. Come and join us for the final round of the TRP and Cannabis Energy Drink National Motocross Championships here in Bloemfontein. We'll see you there. All this national motocross action is proudly brought to you by TRP Distributors, Cannabis Energy Drink, and their associate sponsors.